Hello, Elle Ingalls here at elleingalls.com, pressure-free.com. And topic today is trying too hard. You hear that phrase, work smarter, not harder, but how do you accomplish that? How do you actually do it? Once I was working with a client who said, I know that stress isn't good for me, but I have no idea how to stop it. And the thing about high achievers, and most of my clients are high achievers, is that we try too hard. We try too hard. And trying, by the way, is a cop out. Because if you say, for example, if you have an event and you say, Elle, are you going to come? And they say, well, I'll try to be there. Do you believe that I'm going to be there? Do you think I'm actually going to come? You probably have some doubt that I'll show up. So when you say to yourself, I'm going to try to do this, you've already put in the out. You've given yourself the ability to not complete it when you say, I'm going to try to do it. Does that make sense? So a lot of times people say that, oh, I'm going to try to learn this piece as a violinist. I'm going to try to run this time. But trying is actually a little bit of a cop-out. It gives you this, it's a little slippery. The word that I use with my clients, especially regarding pressure-free, is play. Because as high achievers, we don't give ourselves enough time to play usually. And if we try too hard to reduce stress, you see my shoulders? Trying builds tension in the body. Playing is a much better word. If you come up with a better word, drop it down in the comments, please. Like, I would love more words because I kind of get stuck on the words that I like. Playing is the one that I use. It's like, we're just going to play with these concepts. We're playing with these ideas. What we're playing with specifically is noticing the emotion that causes you to trigger the fight or flight stress response and choosing to interrupt it. You have choice. If you haven't triggered fight or flight, you have a lot of choice. If you've already triggered fight or flight, you have far less choice because your brain can't work that way. That's why it's so important from the moment you first wake up to be really cognizant of anything that could cause you to trigger fight or flight. It could be a thought. It could be an alarm. The sound of the alarm can cause you to trigger fight or flight. It could be you get out of bed and you step on something. Right? I used to step on Legos. Any parent ever step on Legos? That hurts. So watch for those early morning things, because if you can protect yourself from triggering the stress response before you start in your work or school day, you will have so much more cognitive function. You will work so much smarter and not harder. Things will be so much more elegant for you. It's really incredible to change. I never want to go back to the old me, because the old me would stay stuck in patterns that made me less productive. And yeah, I was pretty productive. But now it's like a game changer. It's such a game changer to have full faculty here, to be able to really step into my true genius. It is such a game changer. But if you triggered fight or flight, then there can be a lot of doubt in your mind. You may get that burst of adrenaline, but then you'll start to fade. And then those thoughts will start to come in. You're like, oh, I didn't get that project done. Why didn't I get that project done? By the way, did you hear what I just said? Why didn't I get that project done? Why questions often send you down the rabbit hole. If they're in a negative, why didn't I? Why can't I? Why can't I get out of this mental loop? You're going to get all the reasons why you can't. Because something happened to you when you were little. Because some professor told you you were a horrible writer. Because somebody said something to you and you believed it. Are you following me here? Like those are the things that keep us trapped in these loops, and it can be so hard to get out. So to work smarter, not harder, the more pressure-free you are, the more all of this, your body, your mind, are going to start working for you. I remember watching a cross country race once. It was a really big meet. And the leader, the lead runner in one of the races, he was from Detroit Catholic Central. And this kid, as he was running, first of all, he had a smile on his face. He was so far ahead of the rest of the runners. His feet were barely touching the ground. Like he was just having a blast out there. And if you've ever been to a cross country race, like parents and coaches, we run to spots to be able to see the runners. And I just happened to be choosing the same spots. I'd been to this meet several times, so I knew where I was going, where I wanted to go, as his coach. So we were ending up kind of at the same spot each time. And it was so interesting to watch their interaction. It was pure fun. It was pure play. The coach was saying, you pick it up so that you can get your PR today. There was none of that on this coach's face whatsoever. It was pure joy. And they were laughing together at one point. So it was pure fun. And the kid obviously had a great race, got a great time. And then I watched some of the other runners, like tight faces and plodding down. It's like every step they're going down, down, down into the ground. That's not fun. It's not fun. So moving yourself into play instead of trying too hard. I look back and sometimes I just tried way, way, way too hard. In other things I've done in my life, I just assumed complete success. And those things went really well. So what words are you putting in your head to support playing? Assume success is something I share all the time, especially with performers, athletes, people going into meetings. Just assume success. Tests. I remember I had a high schooler. By the way, I often mention my younger clients because they just share. They share so much about what's going on great for them and not going on great for them. And I had a student, I'd worked with him, I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. I worked with him in the fall. And when we got to the spring, I got a text from him saying, I feel like I'm gonna fail this test. I need a C to pass. Now, this student was not a C student by any means. He was pretty much an A student. So obviously he had a tough class and was feeling like he hadn't studied or whatever the story was in his head. So I texted him to do 3 things. I texted him to relax his abs, immediately relax his abs, smile a little bit, and assume success. How can I do well on this test? Open-ended. How can I do well on this test? When he got his grades back, he texted me, he got an A-. Pretty cool. He thought he was going to fail. He needed a C to pass the course, and he ended up getting an A-. You're capable of so much more, but the stress hormones will lock you down. They will take you out of the game. They will make life not very fun. If you are struggling in life, I love Stuart Wilde when he says life was not meant to be a struggle. You're looking for attention. If your life is hard right now, if you're struggling, it could be this inner thing that you need acknowledgement, like deep acknowledgement. I do that for my clients in really, really cool ways because I think it's just so important. We don't have enough unconditional love out there supporting. So I wish you a great pressure-free day, and notice if you're forcing and trying too hard, and see if you can lighten up that energy and just start playing. Have a great one. Bye.